Okay, so I want you to imagine something with me for a second. You are at a big stadium, tens of thousands of people all around you. The national anthem is playing. Everybody's kind of quiet, respectful. You know how that feels. And then the big screen pans to someone in a private suite up above the floor, and the whole building just turns. Not polite applause, not a mix of reactions. Thousands and thousands of people, all at the same moment, just boo, loudly, together. The kind of thing where you can feel it, not just hear it. You feel it in your chest. Journalists inside the building write about it. Multiple outlets cover it. Even publications that are openly, plainly friendly to the person being booed report it because they cannot avoid it. The Associated Press puts it in writing. It is on live national television. Thousands of people have it on their phones. There is no version of events where it did not happen. And then someone posts a video of that exact moment on social media. And in the video, the boos are gone. Just gone. Replaced. Cheers in their place. Generic crowd noise. The kind of warm, fuzzy sound you hear at a highlight reel. And the person posting it captions it with something like, "What a special moment." No acknowledgement, no explanation, nothing. And when millions of people notice and start commenting, silence. From the person who posted it, from the people around them. Just silence. That is not a hypothetical. That happened. 4 days ago, June 8th, 2026, Madison Square Garden, New York City. And I, James Williams, am going to walk you through what we actually know, what the numbers behind it say about your economy right now, and why this story is about a lot more than a basketball game. If you are new here, welcome. This channel is not for everyone. It is for people who want to understand what is actually happening, not just what they are being told is happening. If that is you, stick around and hit subscribe. Let's get into it. Monday night, June 8th, Game 3 of the 2026 NBA Finals. New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs. Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. Now, on the court, the Spurs actually won that game, 115 to 111. Victor Wembanyama had 32 points and was absolutely dominant in stretches. The Knicks, who had won the first 2 games of the series at home in San Antonio, let this one slip away. It was a good game, a real game, but that was almost not the story at all, because Donald Trump showed up. And not just showed up. He became the first sitting president in the history of the United States to ever attend an NBA Finals game. That is real history. I am not going to pretend otherwise. Whatever else you think about the man, that is a legitimate first. He was invited by James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks and the arena itself. Trump watched from a glass-enclosed private suite, completely sealed off by security. He was surrounded by cabinet members. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino, a few others. And getting into that building that night was not easy for anyone. Watch parties that had been set up outside Madison Square Garden were shut down entirely. Fans who had waited weeks for this, who had legitimate tickets, had to go through extra layers of security screenings. People who had planned this night for months found the whole experience turned upside down because of one guest's presence. So there was already friction in that building before tip-off. Then came the national anthem. A singer named Avery Wilson performing the Star-Spangled Banner. The arena quiets down the way arenas do. And then the cameras find Trump up in his suite, standing there, giving a military salute. And the whole place just opened up on him. Boos. Loud ones. The kind you do not mishear. The Associated Press described them plainly. Journalists who were physically inside the garden that night, from multiple different outlets across the political spectrum, all reported the same thing. Brian Stelter posted raw audio from inside the building. You could hear it clearly. Even Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, a New Yorker himself, had warned before the game. I'm not sure it's going to be a good reception for him. He was right. Now, the president left the game early. Second half. Reports from people inside said he appeared to doze off briefly in the box at one point. And when he spoke to reporters on his way out, before boarding Air Force One back to Washington, he said this. It was, I think, mostly cheers. It was loud, and it was very enthusiastic. Mostly cheers. Write that down. We are coming back to those words. The next day, Kai Trump posted a video on Instagram. For those who do not know, Kai is the president's granddaughter, 19 years old, She was standing right next to him during the national anthem. She felt that room. She captioned the clip, "Thank you to 15SOF for capturing this special moment with my grandpa." 15SOF is a real app. It stands for 15 Seconds of Fame. It uses facial recognition technology to identify people when they appear on stadium jumbotrons during games, and then sends them a short, personalized clip of that moment. So the idea is simple enough. You go to a game, you show up on the big screen. The app finds that moment and sends it to you. Kai got her clip, and she posted it. Now, I watched that clip carefully, and I want to be precise here, because precision matters more than heat. In the clip, there is crowd noise, general cheering, the kind of warm ambient sound you associate with a good night at the arena. Fine. What is not in the clip? Any booing. Not a whisper of it. Not a trace. Also not in the clip, the national anthem. The singer performing one of the most well-known songs in the country. Just gone. Completely absent from the audio. The comment section reacted fast. The top comment received over 11,000 likes. Just, she replaced the audio. Others, changing the audio is wild though. The boos rocked the foundation of the garden. Altered audio and everything. You are really trying to tell yourself he is loved. One commenter who had apparently watched the anthem live zeroed in on exactly what was missing. They wrote, "Why isn't the national anthem playing in this clip? When I watched this live, the anthem was playing and the boos were loud and clear. This is not an authentic clip." Now, I promised you I would be fair. And I mean that in a real way, not just as a phrase I throw in. There is an explanation that surfaced from the reporting around this. According to page 6, the 15SOF app itself, the company that built and sent Kai the clip, may have used their own pre-recorded or in-house arena audio. Audio that was different from what was actually audible on the floor. Different from what the television cameras and the journalists and the fans all heard. TMZ ran a story essentially saying Kai was in the clear, that she just received and shared what she was sent. That the editing, if it happened upstream of her. Is that possible? Yes, I cannot rule it out. I genuinely cannot. But here is the thing. Kai was standing in that room. She heard it. She felt it. Her face in the unedited footage showed it. Every person inside that building knew what happened. And she posted a clip calling it a special moment. And said nothing when the whole world pushed back. And here is the piece of this story that almost every outlet dropped. The White House itself posted its own version of the same moment, with boos replaced by USA chants. The official White House social media account of the United States of America posted a clip of a public event, witnessed by thousands, broadcast live on national television, and replaced the audio with something else. Not, "We saw a mixed reaction." Not, "Here is our perspective." Just a different audio track. That is the part that stays with me. All right, I know some of you are asking right now, "James, why does a social media post from a teenager matter to me?" Here is why. Pull up the Reuters/Ipsos poll that was conducted on June 8th, the same day as the game. Donald Trump's approval rating, 35%. That is near the bottom of his entire political career. When the same poll asked specifically about his handling of the economy, 33% approved. Now let me give you another number. The Brookings Institution, which is not a partisan shop, published an analysis that found only 29% of Americans believe Trump's policies have helped create jobs. 29%. And in that Reuters poll, when they asked over 4,000 Americans why they disapproved of the president's performance, the two things they came back to again and again were food prices and gas prices. Not abstract policy debates, not ideology, food and gas. The things you cannot avoid paying for, no matter what you think politically. You still need to eat. You still need to get to work. A Fox News survey, and again, this is not a publication looking for reasons to go after the current administration, found that 54% of voters believe the country is worse off today than it was a year ago. More than half. Now, I want to pause here for a second, because I think we sometimes look at approval rating numbers and they feel abstract, like statistics on a page. 35%, 33%, 29%, numbers. But I have been doing this a long time, and what those numbers actually are is people. Real people making real decisions with real money in a real economy. A person who budgeted carefully to take their family to a Knicks finals game, probably spending several $100s on tickets alone, and then found out the watch party outside was canceled because of a security perimeter, and the lines were longer, and the whole night was just harder than it needed to be. That person has an opinion about what they are getting for their money, in a broader sense. That is what 35% looks like up close. Connect that to Madison Square Garden. That crowd was not a political rally. It was not a fundraiser where everyone in the room had paid to show up in support of someone. It was a basketball game, a finals game. People from all over, all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of political views, who just wanted to watch the Knicks, who have not been to the finals in 27 years. Some of those people booing? They probably voted for the man they were booing. Some of them are small business owners who believed the trade policy would eventually pay off. Some are working families who were promised that costs would come down. They are still waiting. And when they saw him on that screen during the anthem, they reacted the way people react when they have been waiting a long time and feel like they are not being heard. That is what a 35% approval rating sounds like in a room. And apparently, it sounded bad enough that the audio had to be swapped out. I want to slow down here, because this is the part I think matters most, and the part most coverage of this story never gets to. What happened with that video is not new. The crowd size at the 2017 inauguration was disputed by the White House when aerial photographs showed something different from what officials were claiming. That was almost 10 years ago. Last year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner was removed from her post. The president publicly said the agency had been producing, his words, phony numbers. The federal agency that measures employment and prices. At the U.S. Open men's tennis final in Queens last year, Trump appeared on the big screen and was booed. Reports at the time described his smirk as a response, which reportedly made the crowd louder. Each of these things, taken alone, you might explain away. A bad night, a disagreement over data, one crowd in one city that does not like him. But look at the shape of all of them together. When reality produces a result that is uncomfortable, the answer is not to address that reality. The answer is to change the version of reality that people see. Boos get turned into cheers, employment numbers get labeled fake, crowd photos get disputed. Here's the thing about that pattern that I want you to understand. Economic decisions, real ones, the ones that affect your mortgage rate, your grocery bill, what you pay for healthcare, those decisions are made based on data. The Federal Reserve sets interest rates based on economic data. The administration negotiates trade deals based on projections about jobs and costs. Congress writes budget bills based on what the numbers say about the economy. If the people making those decisions are working from a version of reality where boos sound like cheers, what does that mean for the quality of those decisions? I am not trying to alarm you. I am trying to make a practical point. Good decisions require honest information, and a pattern of replacing honest information with preferred information does not stop at social media. Let me tell you what I am watching from here, and I will be straight about what is my read versus what is established fact. The midterm elections are getting closer. A president at 35% approval, with a majority of voters saying the country is going in the wrong direction, faces real structural headwinds. That does not mean outcomes are automatic. The other side has to earn those votes. But the math is not comfortable for the current administration. Over the next 90 days, the numbers that actually matter are these. The Consumer Price Index for June, which will tell us whether food and energy costs are continuing to climb or leveling off. The June Jobs Report, and the Federal Reserve's next rate decision, which directly affects what you pay on any variable rate debt you are carrying. Those numbers will tell you more about the real state of this economy than any video on Instagram. And on the information side, I want to say this simply. Be careful right now about what version of events you are accepting. Not just from this administration, from everyone in a position of influence. The willingness to take a public moment that was witnessed by tens of thousands of people, broadcast live on television, documented by dozens of journalists, and then post an edited version of it like nothing happened. That tells you something about the environment we are all navigating. Your financial decisions, your planning, your understanding of where this economy is headed, all of that works better when it is built on accurate information. Slowing down and checking the actual data is not a political act. It is just taking care of yourself. 4 days after the President of the United States walked into Madison Square Garden and got loudly booed during the national anthem at an NBA Finals game. Confirmed by the Associated Press, reported by outlets across the political spectrum, captured on the phones of thousands of people who were physically in the building. And within 24 hours, the official version, on a family member's Instagram and on the White House's own social media, had different audio. The president told reporters it was mostly cheers. 35% of Americans approve of his job performance. Rising food costs and gas prices are the #1 reason people give for their frustration. And the answer to all of that was to change the sound. That is where we are. I give you this information because I think you deserve to make decisions. Financial decisions, political decisions, life decisions, based on what is actually happening, not a cleaned-up version of it. If this kind of analysis is useful to you, subscribe and turn on notifications. Share this video with one person who you think would appreciate having the real picture, not the edited one. I am James Williams. I will see you in the next one.